Rain poured like a curtain over the hotel's back lot as Zara stepped out after her shift, clutching her shawl to fend off the cold. Her bicycle waited under a flickering lamp, but before she could mount it, the unmistakable sound of a struggle froze her mid-step. A muffled thud, a harsh laugh, a man's strained voice. She followed the noise and found him, Ryan Hale, the billionaire CEO, cornered by two drunk men. His usually composed posture was gone, replaced by a drunken sway and confusion clouding his sharp eyes. The men taunted him, tugging at his coat, trying to provoke him into something they could brag about or record. "Let him go," Zara said, her voice calm but firm. The men squinted at her, amused. "Mind your business. It becomes my business when trouble starts on hotel property. I'll call the manager, and security, and the police." They paused. Something about her unwavering tone, mixed with the radio clip to her uniform, made them back off. Muttering curses, they disappeared into the storm. When they left, Ryan blinked at her as though trying to make sense of her face. "You helped me," he murmured, unsteady. "Let's get you inside before someone else sees you," she said, guiding his arm over her shoulder. He leaned on her more heavily than expected, his breath tinged with whiskey, exhaustion seeping from every step. She led him through the staff corridor, shielding him from cameras and curious eyes. At the private elevator, she stopped. "Your room is on the 27th floor. Can you manage?" He didn't step in right away. He stared at her, rainwater sliding from his hairline, something like clarity piercing through the haze. "What's your name?" "Zara." He repeated it, softly. "Zara." The doors closed, leaving her alone once more. She exhaled shakily, unaware that her one act of instinctive kindness had already altered the direction of her life. The hotel lobby buzzed with whispers the next morning. Zara didn't think much of it. Busy hotels always buzzed, but the tension felt different, sharp, electric. She clocked in, rubbing sleep from her eyes, her mind still replaying last night's bizarre encounter. She hoped the CEO wouldn't remember anything. Men like him didn't remember people like her. Until she turned, and saw him. Ryan Hale stood in the center of the lobby, dressed flawlessly, sober, and entirely in control. His head of security flanked him, scanning the room. But Ryan wasn't looking at the guests or the staff. He was looking for someone. And then he found her. Their eyes locked, and the air around her tightened. He walked toward her with purposeful strides. Staff members glanced between them, shocked. "Zara," he said, her name fitting almost too naturally in his voice. She straightened. "Good morning, sir. I'd like a moment with you." Her heart lurched. He remembers. Oh God, he remembers. Am I in trouble? His expression softened almost imperceptibly. No, quite the opposite. They moved to a quiet corner where no one could overhear. "You protected me last night," he said quietly. "Not just physically. You protected my privacy. My dignity. I remember everything." She wished he didn't. "I didn't do it for anything in return." "I know," he said firmly. "That's why it matters." He looked at her with a seriousness that made the ground feel unsteady. "Please, give me a few minutes of your time." Against every instinct, she nodded. And with that single choice, the morning cracked open into something much bigger than she expected. The private meeting room smelled faintly of cedar and expensive polish. Zara felt painfully out of place as she stepped inside. She sat rigidly on the edge of a chair while Ryan moved to stand near the window, hands in his pockets, gaze fixed on the city. Stretching below. "Why did you help me?" he asked without turning around. "You didn't know me. I saw trouble, and I acted. It's what you do when you've handled enough chaos in life." He turned, studying her closely. "You mentioned your son." She hesitated. "I'm raising him alone." He nodded slowly, the pieces fitting together in his mind. "Zara, people around me either want power, money, or favor. You wanted nothing. Do you know how rare that is?" She didn't answer. She didn't know how. Then he said something she never expected. "I want to offer you a position." Her heartbeat stumbled. "Sir, personal assistant," he finished. "Full training, better pay, flexible hours for your child." Her breath hitched. She couldn't process it. "I'm not qualified." "You are. Maybe not on paper, but you have instincts I trust." It wasn't the offer that shook her. It was the sincerity behind it. "Think about it," he said gently. And as she walked out of the room, she realized she hadn't felt this scene in years. For days Zara lived between hope and fear. She considered the job offer every moment she wasn't working. She wanted stability for Ion, a better life, a safer future, but she also feared the unknown world this new role would drag her into. One evening, Ion tugged on her sleeve. "Ami, you're thinking too much." She smiled faintly. "Maybe." He handed her a drawing. Two figures holding hands. "If you're scared, hold my hand. I can help you." His innocence broke something open inside her. That night, she made her decision. The next morning, she asked for a meeting. She expected to wait hours, but instead Ryan's head of security appeared almost immediately. "Mr. Hale is expecting you." Her pulse quickened. When she entered the office, Ryan stood by the window, sleeves rolled up, soft sunlight painting warmth across his usually cold features. He turned the moment she stepped in. "Zara," she swallowed. "I want to try. I accept the position." Relief washed across his face so subtly she almost doubted she saw it. "Good." Training began instantly. It was overwhelming. Calls, schedules, emails, board updates, but Ryan noticed everything. When she was stressed, he slowed down. When she needed to pick up Ion, he adjusted meetings. When she forgot to eat, he ordered food without saying a word. One evening, she found him massaging his temples, exhaustion heavy on his shoulders. "Long day?" she asked. He looked at her, something unguarded in his eyes. "Everyone wants something from me." "Not me," she said softly. That made him pause. When she gathered her things to leave, he spoke quietly. "When it's just us, call me Ryan." Her breath fluttered. She nodded. "All right, Ryan." Something shifted in that room, unspoken but undeniable.